Okay, when I first started doing the Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, both series are undeniably heavy when it comes to female characters. And the amount, I mean, to male characters, sorry. The amount of female characters normally is, relatively lacking. If you go back to, Street Fighter 2, pretty much your female character is Chun-Li. And if you look at Mortal Kombat, your female character pretty much was Sonya Blade, except when Shang Tsung transformed the Sonya Blade. And then as it began to expand, you had Super Street Fighter 2, they added 4 additional characters. Only one was a female, that would be Cammy. And as Mortal Kombat began to progress, you essentially still had Sonya, but then you had additions of characters like, Katana, Melina, Jade, Sindel, and even, I'm entirely spacing on the female Goro character, Shiva? Something like that. And you saw this really kind of small amount of female characters. Then on the Street Fighter side, once it went into the Alpha side, then it's been characters like, Sakura and Karen, then like Junie and Julie. You began to pick up on a lot more female characters over there. And even went to Mortal Kombat, and when you went to Marvel vs. Capcom, again you kind of had a really small amount of female characters. You tend to have Chun-Li and then the hidden character Chun-Li, and then a few other female characters thrown in, but not any real substantial characters. So then it kind of came down to, well, I was going to do female characters. Actually, number 3 on my list was Rose and Sindel. I thought Rose was a phenomenal character from the Street Fighter Alpha series. Right below that was Chun-Li and Sonya Blade. So, as always, this is the 9 basic criteria we have. Intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability. Things like stamina, your ability to recover from injury. Invulnerability, your ability to sustain lots of damage before you actually get injured. Energy projection, that's just raw power, raw output. Versatility, and that all-important X factor. So I get right into this. Chun-Li's character normally is a Wushu-trained reporter, where Sonya Blade's character is pretty much a military-trained character. So in terms of intelligence, you have someone who's a reporter with a martial arts background versus like special forces military. I would probably give a slight intelligence edge, probably to Chun-Li, just based upon the skills you gain as a reporter are going to be a lot more broad-based. So I can see her on an overall intellectual standpoint probably being a bit smarter than Sonya Blade. Fighting, that's where special military forces come in wholeheartedly. Speed, when you watch these two characters fight, when I think of speed, the lightning leg kick comes right to mind. So obviously that goes to Chun-Li. Strength, seeing what Sonya Blade actually does here, she holds her own pretty well with guys, and a very, very physical fighter. Now we're on to durability and vulnerability. Now, of course, when it comes to these two sort of attributes, I'm probably going to have to give both of them to Sonya Blade. The amount of training you would receive in the military means that you're going to be able to take a pretty decent beating, as well as come back faster than Chun-Li will be able to. So now we're at the energy projection side. A lot of what Sonya Blade had was, the energy rings, impressive and things of that nature, but again, she's still predominantly a physical fighter. Where when Chun-Li first started, she had the spinning bird kick, the lightning kick, both of which were very close, and then she was given a fireball. Her fireball, decent, but what really makes it set her off is her multiple hit in close fireball. And like I said, when it comes to the special abilities, I'm more or less leaving them at like the alpha levels. So you're gonna have so Chun-Li at this point would have the spinning bird kick, as well as the nice long distance fireball, an in close fireball, and the lightning kick. So for raw energy, I have to go with the rings versus distance and in close a fireball attack. I have to give that to Chun-Li. Overall versatility. You know, when it comes to what Sonya Blade can do, a lot of her moves are still relatively grounded in realism. Where on Chun-Li's side you have, you know, the spinning bird kick or whirlwind kick, depending on which version you played, which had the ability to go through projectiles. And even when it came to the Marvel versus SNK, lots of the ground projectiles she actually passed over, as well as the lightning kicks and abilities like that. She definitely has a lot more versatility to her. So now we come down to is the all-important X factor. You know, which person do I see being able to take it more? And I think the person who's got definitely more speed and more, obviously more on the mystical side of the abilities versus somebody who has just got the ability to take a beating. When it comes to these two, I have to give it to Sonya. I think that Sonya's military training is going to give her a lot more of a in it to finish her opponent, where from Chun-Li's standpoint, I think a lot more is going to be she wants to defeat her opponent, but she might lack that ability to entirely finish an opponent. Where for Sonya, with the military training, she would not be above taking a fight to the point where she would take a life. And I think that ability to kind of stop just short of that end goal is what's going to give Sonya Blade probably the opportunity to potentially win this fight. So a 5-4, which would make it very close in this fight, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot more raw physicality and more of a killer instinct on Sonya Blade's side.